Welcome back. In today's analysis, we are unpacking something absolutely massive. We're looking at a masterclass in personal development pulled directly from the highly acclaimed insights of Sonu Sharma. He's laid out this incredibly high-energy blueprint for life transformation, a specific set of rules that he and, honestly, countless other highly successful people have used to just completely elevate their lives. And look, we're not just going to read off a list here. We are going to visually break these down so you can literally take them and apply them to your own journey right this second. Get ready, because this explainer is absolutely designed to challenge the way you operate every single day.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've carefully structured his original 9 rules into a really powerful 5-pillar transformation arc. We're going to start from the inside out, working on yourself, the true value of time, creating the right environment and communication, learning from every experience, and finally, the art of giving.
All right, kicking things off with Pillar 1, work on yourself, which covers rules 1 and 2.
I want you to treat this like a personal coaching session for your own internal mastery, okay? Everything in your life, your income, your relationships, your success, it all starts right here with how you manage you. Rule 1 states, your value must be greater than your salary. Really think about that for a second. A job, at its core, just keeps you alive, right? It pays the bills, but investing in yourself, that's what makes life truly worth living. People pour so much energy into their 9 to 5, but what if you took just half of that effort and invested it back into your own skills, your communication, your mindset, your confidence? The absolute greatest investment in the world isn't real estate or crypto, it's you. Because the very day your internal value surpasses your current paycheck, the world stops offering you mere jobs, and it starts offering you opportunities. It invites you to lead.
And that perfectly transitions us to Rule 2, which honestly requires a massive mindset shift. Think about the victim mentality. We've all seen it, right? Blaming bad luck, your family background, the economy, or just the people around you. When you point the finger at others, you are literally handing over the remote control of your life to them. The alternative? Taking 100% responsibility. The exact moment you say, my life is my responsibility, if I lose, it's my fault, your personal growth just instantly activates. You stop hunting for excuses and you start hunting for solutions. You no longer wait for the circumstances to magically change, you change yourself to alter those circumstances.
That foundational mindset beautifully sets up Pillar 2, the true value of time, which covers Rules 3 and 6. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer math behind Rule 3. 1,800. We are so incredibly meticulous about tracking our money, right? We have apps and ledgers for every penny, but we hemorrhage our time as if we have an infinite supply of it. Let's break this down. If you spend just 5 hours a day mindlessly scrolling through short videos on your phone, that's 150 hours a month. In a year, that equals 1,800 hours. To put that into perspective, that is 75 full 24-hour days wasted in a single year. If you do that for 5 years, you've essentially thrown away an entire year of your life with absolutely zero achievement to show for it.
So, the crucial point here is that you must ask yourself this one question before starting any activity. Should my time be spent here? You've got to start treating your time exactly like a strict financial ledger. Before you give 10 minutes to a person, an app, or a task, audit it. Is this yielding money, skills, health, peace, personal growth? If the answer is a hard no, your time isn't just being spent, it's being actively destroyed. You know, money makes a noise when it drops out of your pocket, but time slips away in absolute silence.
And how you manage that time starts the literal second you open your eyes, which brings us to Rule 6. Are you woken up by the sun, or do you wake the sun up? If you're waking up at 8 a.m., just dragging yourself out of bed to join the morning rush, you've kind of already lost half the battle on your mattress. But waking up at 5 a.m.? That isn't just a healthy habit. It is the ultimate psychological statement that your life is fully under your control. While the rest of the world is tossing and turning, you are getting a massive 3-hour head start on your competition. You aren't just starting your day at that point, you are seizing it. Moving right along, let's shift our focus outward to Pillar 3, right environment and communication, covering Rules 4 and 5.
Rule 5 reveals a pretty harsh truth about human nature. You rarely fail alone. You usually fail with the circle you call your friends. It said you are the exact average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their mindset becomes your mindset, split evenly at 20% each. Think about it. If you hang around weak people, having big dreams starts to feel like a joke. If you surround yourself with lazy people, having discipline feels like you're just overacting. But if you actively seek out people who push you upward, people whose conversations literally ignite a fire in you, your growth accelerates like crazy. Because real growth doesn't happen in the comfort of bad company. It happens in the challenging, sometimes uncomfortable presence of those who push you to be better.
But luck, being in the right room isn't enough if you don't know how to speak up once you're there, right? That's rule 4. Communication is quite literally the remote control of your life. It builds your relationships, it closes your deals, and it generates genuine leadership. If you have a lack of clarity, people just think you're confused. If you have no confidence in your voice, people instantly perceive you as weak. If there's no impact in your words, nobody's going to take you seriously. You could be holding on to all the talent in the world, but if you don't know how to sell it, the world won't pause to listen to you. You absolutely must learn to listen deeply and speak like a true leader.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Pillar 4, learn from every experience, covering Rule 7 and 8.
Rule 7 tells us that nature overwhelmingly rewards those who actually appreciate what they already have. We completely normalize our breath, yet if you walk into a hospital, a single breath is priceless. We complain about having a small house while others are sleeping without a roof. We complain about our meals while children go hungry. When you are constantly complaining, you become toxic, and the universe, much like the people around you, just stops offering you opportunities. But when you wake up and actively give thanks for your health, your family, your work, and yes, even the failures that teach you tough lessons, nature actually begins to open doors that previously seemed locked tight.
And speaking of failures, let's look at how Rule 8 completely transforms them. No experience in life is ever wasted. Good experiences? Sure, they validate our choices. But painful experiences? Those are custom designed to teach us crucial life skills. Betrayal doesn't happen just to break you. It happens to teach you exactly who to trust next time. Financial loss teaches you how to make much sharper decisions. A big failure exposes exactly where your strategy was weak. The event itself might have been totally out of your control, but the color you give to that event, the lesson you extract from it, is entirely in your hands.
And finally, we arrive at Pillar 5, the art of giving, which covers Rule 9.
The directive here is so simple but incredibly profound. Make giving a permanent partner in your earnings. Nature operates on a core principle of abundance. It is not a zero-sum game. When you share your wealth, your time, or your knowledge with others, you are basically aligning yourself with the very laws of nature. The source material emphasizes this over and over. Those who hold on to everything tightly, they often lose it in a flash. But those who give freely, they guarantee a massive return on their investment. And it's a return so significant that it benefits not just you, but even your future generations.
I want to conclude this explainer by leaving you with this incredibly provocative thought straight from the source. When it comes to the cycle of giving and receiving, people so often say, well, I'll give when I get a little more. But ask yourself, does nature give first or do you give first? The reality is nature already gave to you, and whatever you are giving back is just a tiny fraction of that initial massive abundance. So I want you to reflect on your relationship with generosity, with your time, and your personal growth today. If you implement these 9 rules and transform your environment, just watch how quickly your success follows. Thank you so much for joining me today, and as always, keep learning.